Welcome, welcome to our show. It's a wonderful, incredible Friday, actually. We're on here at the studio, NowMedia Studios, BNI Now. From a new place. Normally, you guys are used to seeing Rick Gutierrez. However, this week he's going to be out, and I'll actually be filling in for him fairly regularly. We'll be here every other week. So Rick will be 1 week, and then I'll be the other week. And we'll be bringing this to you every Friday at 2 o'clock as usual. What a fantastic day. I want to talk a little bit about BNI and what this platform really means for all BNI members. This is a completely free platform for any BNI member in the area and actually nationwide that wants to appear on our show. We talk and highlight your business, what's been going on with you, and also we like to talk about what's been going on with BNI. So if you want to be on the show, feel free to email me, bninow@nowmedia.tv. You can also get more information at bnihouston.com. Let's talk a little bit about what's been going on this week. Obviously, it's been pretty crazy. I'd say if there's one word that sort of sums up 2020 without talking about expletives, it'd be uncertainty, right? We've been going through a whole situation with the pandemic, COVID. There's been uncertainty related to our health, uncertainty related to our children and schooling, for example. I have 2 kids. They're going through a lot of uncertainty in school, whether it's online or in person. Uncertainty in business. Certainly, COVID has made some significant changes to the way that we do our business on a daily basis, or how we even go about our business. Even down to the point where there's been uncertainty about toilet paper, if you guys remember that. But now, on top of everything else, now we add more uncertainty as it relates to the elections, right? So without choosing sides or being polarizing in any way, it's just been an unbelievable year of uncertainty. And one of the few things that has been certain throughout this year has been BNI, because frankly, we didn't miss a beat. There was absolutely no change in our meetings on a weekly basis. We went pretty much wholesale from in-person meetings to the next week we were having meetings online. Of course, the first ones were a little bit painful. It took a little while to adjust to that reality, but BNI really was ahead of the curve as it relates to all of the materials that they had available for us. All of our presidents, vice presidents, they had to put in a lot of work in order to be able to run these meetings, in a fairly positive way, right? Everybody dealing with what they were dealing with. But, listen, it was pulled off without a hitch. It's been fantastic. We've been continuing to receive business through BNI. So I just want to say that in a world of uncertainty, BNI in a one way, shape, or form has provided some much needed uniformity, right, and consistency. So congratulations to all the people that are still out there trudging along, trying to survive this year. The end is near to a certain extent, certainly for 2020. We're getting to the end of the year, and hopefully 2021 will be a whole new, hopeful year, right, with new things and being able to put a lot of these things behind us. That being said, we have our guest today. So our first guest is Lydia Navo. Lydia Navo is a business coach, okay, with Action Coach. Lydia, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
All right, great. Thanks for being here. Thanks for that big smile after that intro about uncertainty. So it's always great to see a positive smile and everything in a positive light. Certainly another one of those BNI values, right? So business coaching. Tell me a little bit about how things have been for you since this year.
Yeah.
This year's been challenging to say the least for most people. What have you seen on your end of it? And how you normally do your business?
It's been pretty crazy. So we've had to do a lot of adjusting as well. But what's been good for us is that businesses are finally starting to understand that they can't do it alone. Business owners are starting to go, you know what? I do need help. I don't exactly know how to move forward, especially in these uncertain, crazy times. And so we've had that little bit of light where people are going, okay, I need help. What do I do moving forward? So we've had that going. Something else we started doing at the beginning of COVID, we've been doing interviews. So I mentioned this to you earlier, that we've conducted about 300 of our own interviews with business owners in the Houston area. trying to figure out what's going on since COVID, what they're doing to move forward, and how we can help them. And so we've been doing those. So this is interesting being on the other side.
So is it like a podcast, or is it also something that's filmed, like this show?
So right now what we've been doing is just phone interviews or Zoom interviews, and then we transcribe them and put them in our newsletter. And then we also put it on our social media and our website as well. And then what we want to start doing is going back to those initial interviews and doing them live on Facebook so that we can say, hey, we interviewed you 6 months ago when all of this happened. What's going on now? And so doing like a follow-up interview.
And how have you seen the result? I mean, how's the public taken it, especially with social media being as now uber important? Before it was important, now it's just out of control, right? A lot of people working from home, they don't have access to their traditional itineraries or traditional way you would run your life, because we're in upheaval right now. So social media, in my case, I know that I'm using it quite a bit more than I used to, and I was already used to using it quite a bit to begin with. So have you seen a lot of traction on social media for your shows?
So we, like I said, ours is more in a transcription, so it's all words, and so we send it out mostly to our database. So we have a big database of about 10,000 people in the Houston area, professionals and business owners, and so that's typically what our form is, and then the social media is just like a little added bonus. But yeah, our social media has grown. We hired a full-time social media person about 2 months ago because we knew that, hey, we need to get online, especially during these times. So.
Well, how do you become a guest on that show?
You just let us know. You can call us. You can go on our Facebook page. There are posts that you can register through a landing page, but you can give us a call at 713-936-3814 and talk to anybody there.
Awesome. Well, and talking a little bit more about business coaching. So one of the big things, or the normal questions that I would get, especially when people are applying to BNI, because we have our separation of chairs, and sometimes they're very close together, sometimes they're very far apart, depending on what you're looking at. But in your particular case, I always get that question of what's the difference between a business coach and a business consultant? Can you sort of shed light a little bit on what that difference is and how you differentiate yourself from a business consultant?
Yeah. So the main difference between business coaching and business consulting is that a consultant's going to be hired to fix one specific problem. They're going to fix the problem, they're going to leave. Whereas a business coach is hired to teach the business owner how to fix it themselves so they have the knowledge forever, right? So we're teaching them how to actually grow their business. We stay with them just as a sports coach, right? An athlete hires a coach and they stay with them forever. They're always teaching them new things. They're always pushing them. They're always holding them accountable. And that's what we do as business coaches. We give you the information so you have it forever. We don't just fix the problem and leave.
And how does this process start with you guys? So if I were, for example, interested in a business coach, and I gave you a call and I said, I'd like to get the process started. How would that go along? How do you start with the quoting process? How do you engage with the client? And ultimately, what kind of plan do you put in place with the customer?
Yeah, so when it comes to coaching, anybody who's interested, we offer a complimentary 2-hour business diagnostic. So you would just give us a call. We even have a form on our website you can fill out. But the best way is just give us a call and say, hey, listen, I'm interested in learning a little bit more and growing my business. We'll set up a 2-hour session with you. There's a little bit of homework for you to do ahead of time, fill out a questionnaire so we get to know you, and then we do a whole bunch of homework on whoever that is, right? So we might secret shop them, we'll look up their competition, we'll search what they're doing on social media, on their website, so that when they come to
a little bit of a competitive analysis?
Of course, yeah, definitely. So we get as much information on our end about the company as well, so that when they come in for the 2 hours, we can really get some strategies in place and say, hey, this is where you're at. Let's figure out where you want to be, and let's give you some real strategies. And at the end of the 2 hours, we just say, do you want to continue coaching or not? And either answer is fine. Our programs, we have programs that range anywhere from a one-time $99 fee to $10,000 a month. It really depends on the company, how big they are, how many employees they have, and what they're really looking to do.
Well, and normally so tell me a little bit about your experience with that first 2 hours. It sounds pretty interesting that you would go out there and sort of do your own analysis and then come in and talk to the owner or the manager or whoever's in charge. Do you see that there's normally a pretty clear marriage there? Do you guys normally agree on what's happening with the business and where they need to sort of focus or change something, or is it normally a disconnect there?
Yeah, so because we, a lot of the business owners who make it to that step, right? People may inquire and they may not do the homework or they may not follow through, but the people that actually show up for the 2 hours, because they're coming to our office, we're meeting via Zoom now, The people who actually show up are truly interested in changing. And so that's what's really cool about all of our clients are open to that suggestions. Yes, there's times where we're like, hey, you should do this, and like, no, and it takes months of coaching to get them through it. But for the most part, everybody that comes to us is open and willing to hear that advice and change.
And what's the most common problem that you find across all industries? Is it a question of management style? Is it a question of more concrete types of things that they're doing and maybe aren't doing in the market?
So I think the most common thing that we see with the business owners that are coming to us is not getting enough leads or not getting enough business, right? It's the cash flow. So the three most common complaints we hear are not enough money, not enough time in the day to get done what needs to get done, and having to manage a team. So those are the three biggest things that we focus on.
That's pretty much my three big things as well. Going on a little bit more about BNI. So how long have you been a BNI member?
A little over 2 years now.
Okay, and you're a BNI Bel Air, right?
Bel Air. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how's your experience been in BNI? Tell me a little bit about, especially that second year, sort of what kind of results have you seen? What's been happening throughout this whole pandemic now that we're all virtual? Tell me a little bit about what you think about the whole process.
Sure, yeah. So BNI for us, or for me in particular, has been really beneficial. I mean, the return on investment is just astounding. There's nothing like it. But I will say it is one of those things, just with any organization, any networking you do, the more involved you are, the more you get out of it, right? It is that giver's gain.
Right,
so,
you can't just show up and just decide, hey, I'm here,
right.
Everybody give me your referrals, I'm ready to go.
Right, and it did take, that ramp up year to really get started and get to know people and build those relationships for the referrals or the business to start
especially
coming.
For your business, right? I mean, a business coach requires a lot of credibility, in my opinion. It's sort of like that personal finance guy as well. You don't just open up your doors to anybody and, hey, here's where I'm at and here's where I'm vulnerable. That's really the most important thing is, hey, I'm meeting you, we don't really know each other, and I'm going to immediately tell you where my vulnerabilities are. Yeah. So it takes a little bit of time for people to get to know you, right?
This is their life savings. This is their baby. Yeah, it takes a long time for people to be able to trust us with that. And so within the second year, or within the first year, I guess, it wasn't even a whole year, and I became vice president.
Okay, and, we share that pain in common.
Yeah, and so I just jumped head first, was vice president, education coordinator. That's one chair I never want to give up, because what we do at Action Coach is we educate and we hold accountable. So that chair will always be mine as far as I'm concerned. It's natural fit for you, right? Yeah. So the most involved, the more involved you get, the more you get out of it for sure. And then as far as COVID's happened, I think we might have been slower than most people to get the hang of how the virtual thing went. But especially now that new leadership has taken over, they really just breathed that new life that we needed, and we've kind of changed a few things. And so I would say within the past 2 months, we finally are like, oh, okay, I enjoy coming to meetings again, because it was a little rocky there for a while.
Yeah, we sort of share that with you. I mean, in the sense that, it's going great. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a little bit of fatigue, right? It's not the same online as it is in person, but it is what it is. So we're going to have to continue to do this until things get back to normal to some extent. So it's great to be able to be here with you in person.
Yeah,
we're trying to keep our distance here. As far as the core, talk to me also about a core value. What's your favorite BNI core value, and how it has affected you, your business, your entry into BNI, your history in BNI? Is there one particular core value that sort of hits it right on the nail for you?
Oh yeah, accountability. I mean, accountability is everything. We teach accountability. We hold our clients accountable, but again, like, self-accountability does not exist. People might go, oh yeah, I'm really good at holding myself. No. You can only hold yourself accountable to a certain level. You need somebody else to push you to that next level, and so that one really holds true for not only for what I do, but I need BNI to hold me accountable as well.
Accountability. So you're queen of accountability, right? Yeah. That's one of the main things that you guys sell as a business coach. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me a little bit about how you go about doing that with the client?
Yeah. So most of our clients we meet on a weekly basis, right? And it is similar to any type of coaching that you would think of for sports. You meet, you practice, so you have your session where you talk about what's going on, what needs to happen for the next week to get better. We give them homework assignments, and then we check in with them. We make sure they're getting done. We give consequences if they don't get done. we make it as fun as possible, because if business isn't fun, then why are you in business, right? So it's again, what's going on, what needs to happen, and let's hold you accountable to make sure those steps happen.
That's fantastic, Lydia. Once again, I want to thank you for being on the show. I think our segment's about to end. We got to go to a quick break here. But once again, if you guys are looking for somebody to hold you accountable, somebody to help you move forward, somebody to help you stop making excuses, give Lydia Navo a call. Action Coach Business Coaching. Why don't you tell us where they can reach out to you, Lydia?
Yeah. So like I said, you can give me a call at 713-936-3814. You can email me at lydianavo@actioncoach.com, or you can find us at businessasatool.com.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for being here. We'll be right back with you after these commercial messages.
COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The NowMedia video business card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The NowMedia video business card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
Do you want to experience the ease and convenience of the latest and most advanced home security system? Are you going away on vacation and want to have peace of mind while you're not at your home or at your office? According to the FBI, a robbery occurs every 13 seconds, and homes and businesses without a security system are 300% more likely to be burglarized. Hawk Security provides security solutions to residential and small businesses in the state of Texas and from California to Georgia, building a custom-tailored security setup that matches your needs. Whether it is home security, fire and carbon monoxide detection, flood detection, connected senior care, managed video surveillance solutions, alarm monitoring, and life safety. In addition to fire and carbon monoxide detection, Hawk Security has a smart home and business integration, expanding security services to a lifestyle solution, keeping customers connected to their home and businesses from anywhere in the world, from their tablet or mobile device, so you can have peace of mind even if you're not at home or in your office. Reduce your energy cost, scheduling automatic changes in thermostats or lighting. And because we rely on our heroes every single day, Hawk Security offers security services discounts to military personnel, veterans, first responders, educators, and hospital personnel. Our mission is to keep our clients safe, treat them like family, and provide them with a user-friendly security system with personalized customer service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For integrity, honesty, passion, and excellent customer service, take a strong step today toward getting protected and call Rosanna Torres at 832-863-8574, because every home and business is unique and every security system should be unique too.
Now, more than ever, having accurate and up-to-date bookkeeping is crucial for tax and operating cost optimization. Additionally, having a reliable outside bookkeeping company ensures your books are done correctly, and there is no need for the cost of a full-time accountant. RSM Bookkeeping and Tax Services, founded by veteran Ron Maldonado, can provide different bookkeeping packages to fit your company's needs. Assist with the installation of onboarding of QuickBooks, review your books for tax preparation, assist with the creation and registration of your company and obtaining your company's EIN number with the IRS. Tax services for individuals and businesses, for sales and use tax certificates, filing franchise and sales tax reports. Take a decisive step. Call Ron Maldonado at 281-610-7039 and let RSM Bookkeeping and Tax Services be a part of your success.
transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The NowMedia video business card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The NowMedia video business card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today. Graphic design, banners, brochures, business cards, posters, any printing you need for your company's branding, Priority Printing SS is your solution. With more than 30 years of experience, Priority Printing SS has been the preferred solution for hundreds of companies for any printed materials. At Priority Printing SS, they believe in listening to you, bringing you creative ideas to effective results. Your printed materials talk about your company. Make sure they open the door for you. Trust your printed materials to the experts. Call Priority Printing SS at 713-575-9800 and let Priority Printing SS handle with ease all your printing needs.
So welcome back to BNI Now. We're here on this unbelievable Friday. The sun is shining. It's about probably, 70-something degrees outside, right? It's pretty unbelievable. I can't believe I'm still in Houston. This is the same city as last month. But I have my new guest on, Jenny Vargas from Natural Point Acupuncture. Near and dear to my heart. She's one of the members of our chapter, BNI Latino and Galleria. How you doing, Jenny?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Natural Point Acupuncture. So I also have to disclose that I am also a client.
Yeah.
You know, so she holds the acupuncture chair in our chapter. Has since the beginning of the chapter. And prior to that, we were also shared a membership in BNI Synergy, another group in the Heights. So we've known each other for quite a while.
Yes, we have.
And she's helped a lot of my clients, and not just a lot of my clients. She's helped a lot of people in my household specifically. So, but my sister, my wife, myself. So you're sort of part of the family at this point.
I am.
Tell me a little bit about Natural Point Acupuncture. What's been going on for you since since you haven't been on the show before, right?
No.
Not the one in English.
Not the one in English. Yeah,
perfect.
only
So
Spanish.
tell me a little bit about how things have been going for you. Obviously, probably a very highly impacted industry, since acupuncture would be normally in person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously with everything that's been going on since COVID, probably at the very beginning, I assume that you had to cease operations to a
Right.
certain extent. Tell me a little bit about what's been going on since then. How have you sort of dealt with this whole situation? How have you had to change to adjust to the new reality that we're living in, and what's in the future for Natural Point?
So my business has completely changed. I was considered essential, so I didn't necessarily have to close, but I closed just for the safety and just to do research on what I could do to change my business and to keep my office as safe as possible for my patients. The majority of my patients are autoimmune disease patients, fertility, or recent moms. So the population that is most affected and that doesn't really want to go out. So
High risk.
Yes. So one of the things I did was figure out how I can help but not necessarily touch the person. So before, I used to touch and feel a pulse. I used to have to look at the tongue. I used to have to do a lot of things where it's very much close contact. So I looked into some other products that I knew about. I just wasn't necessarily using them as much. So now I offer virtual sessions, and I'm going basically 100% virtual. And how does an acupuncturist do virtual sessions? So I have products that are, for example, the AcuPatches. I'm wearing one now. I don't know if you can see it. They are basically for any kind of treatment that you can do for a treatment in person. So pain, digestive issues, losing weight, concentration, detoxification, just basically anything. I can even help fertility, autism. I mean, there's just a big spectrum of things that I can help that are just basically online. The patches are basically mailed to you. They're very easy to follow. It comes with an instruction booklet and tells you 5 points where you can put the patches. You keep the patches on for 24 to 48 hours. And it's basically an acupuncture treatment at home.
Right.
I will tell you which patch you need, and you can just order it from the website, as well as, using CBD, essential oils, which can be either be mailed to you, dropped off, or you can come pick them up in my office. So it's different, but it's still effective. It still works. You still see results. Some of the results can sometimes be immediate, just because when you put the patch on, it basically activates the acupuncture point for even longer than when you get it in the office. So it still works, and I've been very successful with it. It's been around for 20 years. It's just new to my office and a new service that I'm providing.
Well, I can tell you that it works as well. I've been sleeping much, much better since I've been wearing those patches.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about a misconception that exists a little bit, or maybe not a misconception, maybe just misinformation. I know that certainly applied to me when I started to get to know you and started to get to understand sort of what you do and the process that you've gone to be an acupuncturist. So,
Right.
I don't understand exactly what it all takes, but I know that it's a hell of a lot more than I used to think.
Right.
So can you tell me a little bit about what that process is that you had to go through to become an acupuncturist? Obviously we're talking about ancient medicine, right? I mean,
Right.
we're talking about a medicine that starts in the Orient. Tell me a little bit about that whole journey for you, and how did you even get into it?
That's a great question. So it is a master's degree, so you have to have your bachelor's. I had to take some other prerequisites, which was like biology and chemistry, that I didn't take in college. And it's a 4-year degree, and you have to learn basically the Oriental medicine as well as the Western medicine. And the reason I have to learn the Western medicine is because everybody's going to come into me with the Western diagnosis. So they're going to tell me I have diabetes, I have autoimmune, I have this, I have that. So I have to learn how to translate that into Oriental medicine, as well as know what I can and cannot treat. And if it goes beyond my scope of practice, then know which type of doctor to refer them. So we obviously study in person at the time, as well as we have a clinic in our school. So we saw patients supervised with actual TCM doctors, traditional Chinese medicine doctors, and that was a 2-year clinical internship. So
Wow.
It's a 4-year master's program.
Yep.
And while I was in school, the certifications changed. So had I done 1 more year, I would have been a doctor. But at that point, it was 5 years, and I was too tired to go to school for another year to become a doctor. But now, basically, everybody that graduates with it is now considered a doctor.
Wow, so that's exactly the type of misconception that I was talking about.
Right.
With Oriental medicine and acupuncture in general. I can tell you from my experience, right? So my experience was, acupuncture sounded very foreign to me. It was like, okay, it's a new thing. Of course, we live in a different environment now, right? Where we're a lot more exposed to all these, for me, alternative medicines, right? Or alternative ways of treating, pain or diagnostics or even the herbs. But once I really got to know you and started to go through the process, that whole perception changed significantly, to the point where at this point now, acupuncture is probably, and herbal medicine is probably one of the first things I think about before even thinking about, let's go to a doctor, because I know a doctor a lot of times are going to prescribe medication, right? So they're going to prescribe some sort of a drug. I have nothing against drugs. They work, obviously, but, if I can avoid them and try to do something more holistic or more organic or more natural, typically that's the route that I want to try to take nowadays.
Right.
Do you see a little bit of that changing?
I do, because people are now realizing that typically that's a Band-Aid. It doesn't really get to the root of the problem. So you're either going to have to take that medicine forever, and the minute you stop, all your symptoms are going to come back. Or that once you take medicine for a certain amount of time, you either become, immune to it, you have to go up in dosage, or you have to take more of it, or you're going to be suffering now from side effects. So you're going to go back to the doctor because now, you're taking whatever Ritalin, and now you can't sleep. So now you got to get
side effects are what? Normally 3/4 of the commercials are side effects.
Yeah.
Can't even keep up with them. They speak so quickly.
Right. So acupuncture doesn't really have any side effects. Typically, you may have nausea, you may have a stomach upset, but it's never anything that's very drastic or makes people not want to come back. And it's not painful, as you know. If a needle is uncomfortable or painful, then I adjust it or I take it out. I mean, the point is not to come to my office and to be scared and to be in pain. I want my patient to be as comfortable and to take a 30-minute nap.
Right, and that nap, it comes very naturally. By the way, I've been in that position. So there's absolutely no pain involved, and as a matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. It's a very relaxing process, and at the very end, sort of halfway through, you actually fall asleep for half an hour. I know most of the time you wake me up trying to knock the door down. Tell me a little bit about CBD. So we're talking about traditional medications, right? Doctor prescribed medications. CBD has been something that obviously has been now very widespread. Practically every other corner now you see a CBD dispensary of some sort. How did you get involved with the CBD? When did that start with you? And what can we use it for?
CBD has been around for years. It's just gained popularity, and now anybody and everybody sells it. You can find it anywhere, and it's just like anything else. You need to have good organic products that are third-party tested. Typically, you want local. You want a company that's going to be wanting your best interest, so good, safe practices. CBD is cannabidiol, so the CBD receptors work with a system in our body called the endocannabinoid system. This system works with every other system in our body, the digestive system, the immune system, the endocrine, cardiovascular system.
So it's all connected.
It's all connected. So once you awaken this system by taking the CBD, you make everything work better. So if you're taking Western medicine, it typically makes that medicine work better, where you need less of this medicine over time. Also, it reduces inflammation, it helps you sleep, it reduces anxiety. It works for a lot of different things, and it comes in a variety of doses. It comes liquid, it comes in capsule form, and it comes in topical solution for if you have pain. So CBD works, and it's typically kind of like acupuncture. It works best over an accumulation of time. So typically I start off my patients with like 350 milligrams, and then you go up from there. It's very easy to take. It works almost immediate as well. And like I said, it works with all of the systems in the body, so it can help with even stomach, digestive upsets, anxiety, sleep, anything like that.
So there's not really different types of CBD.
Well, there are different types of CBD.
Okay.
But so I typically sell full spectrum, which is typically what you want. You don't want just the isolate of the CBD. So full spectrum means it has all the properties of the CBD.
So it's basically, am I understanding right? And it's sort of like not a cure-all, that sounds like snake oil, but in a sense that it's something that helps your body connect better, function better as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the CBD itself, because I think I've seen some that say CBD like omega, CBD.
They can be combined with a lot of different things.
Okay, that's a combination, but the CBD itself is
typically just the full spectrum CBD, which is typically what you want.
What about use of CBD with children? So, one of the things that we've seen, obviously, an incredible rise over the last 20 years is in the diagnostics of children with ADHD, ADD, ODD, all of these DD things that can happen.
Yeah.
And it seems like nowadays it's just like a very significant percentage of our child population is diagnosed with these types of things. And I understand that CBD might be a great solution or a great help with this type of thing. Can you expand a little bit upon that?
Sure. So CBD originally was intended basically for children with epilepsy.
Oh, wow.
And cancer, because it helps with nausea. So it started off being primarily for that reason, and then it's basically expanded over the years when they've realized that it helps with so many other things. And it does help with ADD, OCD, ADHD, all of those. Basically just helps the patient function better, helps them concentrate, helps reduce anxiety so that they can concentrate, or reduce anxiety so that they're not thinking about other things while they're supposed to study or be in school.
So it helps with a little bit of focus, which is basically the main problem that ADD or ADHD kids have, is not a difficulty focusing.
Right, and just physically helps them calm down too. So it kind of calms them in order to concentrate and even to help sleep. So it doesn't make you tired. It just basically helps you kind of zone in and focus on one thing at a time.
Is there anything in CBD that you would say I'm concerned about giving a child this type of Oh, it's not even a medication, right? Because it's natural.
Right. It's supplement, yeah. So CBD is non-addictive. It cannot get you high, and it's very safe.
Yeah.
You
fantastic.
obviously want to make sure you get it from a good, reputable company. So that would be my only concern.
Like Jenny Vargas, for example, Natural Point Acupuncture. Let's also talk a little bit about herbs. So Oriental medicine, obviously we're talking about acupuncture, CBD. Now there's a third prong to Oriental medicine, or second prong, really the second most important thing, is herbal medicine.
Right.
And that's obviously also been around for, longer than I think anybody can really understand. Can you tell us a little bit about that part of your business and how that applies to what you want to create going forward with Natural Point Acupuncture?
Sure. I mean, from the beginning, majority of my patients would get acupuncture and herbs. They have a really good synergy, and you get the best results by doing both at the same time. Obviously, now that I'm going more in the direction of virtual, then it's definitely one of the first tools that we use. A lot of our Chinese herbs are stuff like ginger, yams, astragalus, fennel, things that are regular,
Yeah, these are daily ingredients really for us.
Yeah, it's just regular food and dietary recommendations as well as herbs. So definitely it's important. It's easy to take. Majority of the time I sell them in capsules. People don't typically like to take the powders or take the teas. I do sell that for the people that do like that. And I sell as well for children, I sell liquid herbs. Okay. And they're typically easy to take as well, and they don't taste bad. And it's just, easy to take. You put it in a dropper just like the CBD.
Okay, we're getting towards the end of our segment here, but one very important question, or something that really shocked me when I went to see you for the first time. When we did our diagnostics, you said, stick out your tongue. Let me see what's going on with you. You also took a look at my ear. So can you tell the public here a little bit why that is and how that helps you to diagnose somebody and what's going on with their body?
Right. So when you feel the pulse, that's one of the things that we use to diagnose. We feel the upper body, which is heart and lungs, the middle body, which is digestive system, and the lower body, which is the reproductive and endocrine system. So the same thing on the tongue. If you look at the tongue, the front is lungs and heart. The middle is digestive system, and then the back is the reproductive system. So by looking at your tongue or feeling your pulse or looking at your ear, I can get an image of how the entire body is functioning. I will see redness, I will see purple, I will see a pale color, I will distinguish the coating, the size of the tongue. All of those things mean something. Just like in your ear, I can see veins, I can see discoloration. It can be purple, it can be long, it can be short, even just the texture of your ear. All of those things are diagnostic tools. We even are supposed to diagnose the person by just what the face looks like, the shape of the face, the color of the eyes. So it's very easy to do a virtual session because I'm looking at you and I can see you, and then I tell them, stick your tongue out, and then I look at your tongue and I diagnose you from that.
Well, it must be hard for you not to just diagnose pretty much anybody that you come into contact with, huh? That's probably a pet peeve. I mean, that's probably a, what do you call it, occupational hazard for you, right?
Yeah, our teachers used to tell us, go to the mall and sit there and watch people and diagnose everybody as they come by. And I mean, there's stories that we had in school of, someone coming in and the teachers would test us, what does he have? What does she have? Look at her ear, just because that was, how we were taught. And there was the first thing that you see. And then you ask people questions, and sometimes people are not very in tune with their bodies and don't know what's going on. Or people can lie. They can tell me certain things, and then I look at their ear and I know exactly what's going on.
Well, people lie. Imagine that. That's a reality we have to deal with. Well, thanks for coming and spending this time with us. Why don't you tell everybody how they can contact you, especially on the online sessions?
So my website is naturalpointacu.com, and you can book a session through the link as well. You can just request an appointment, and my address is there. My phone number is 281-948-2951, and everything is basically on the website, my services, my products, and my blog, which has some more information as well.
Well, do yourself a favor if you're going through something or you're dealing with some sort of discomfort, especially now where we're spending a lot more time at home in front of our computers, which is never good for posture or a bunch of other things. Give Jenny a call. She can help you. That being said, we're going to go to another commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with an HR specialist. It'll tell us a little bit about what you can do as a business owner to deal better with your staff and sort of the unique situations that are happening right now as far as health concerns are concerned in your staffing. So we'll be right back after these messages. Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Karina Rodriguez, President of Exfinia Financial Services. Let me ask you a few questions. How prepared are you to reach your financial goals? To pay for your kids' education, to buy a house or start a business? Do you know how much money you will need for retirement? Do you have a plan that will allow you to live peacefully after retirement and later in life? Are you prepared to face unexpected situations, such as a chronic illness, an accident, or an untimely death? How will your family be protected? At Exfinia Financial Services, our mission is to help you answer these questions and to design a financial plan that covers all the areas that are relevant to your family or your business. Most importantly, a plan that gives you peace. Some of our services include a detailed assessment of your current financial situation, creating a plan for establishing an emergency fund and protection, debt management, tax optimization, as well as estate planning. Some of our financial strategies protect your capital against drops in the financial markets while benefiting when the market rises. We offer these services at no cost to you. Take control of your financial well-being. Contact us and we will be happy to assist you whether you live in the US or abroad, regardless of your migratory status. Let us be part of your financial success and stability.
COVID-19 transformed the way we do business. Now more than ever, fast lead generation and customer retention will determine if a business survives or not. The NowMedia video business card is designed to be sent using your smartphone. It's the next generation business card that will open the door for you while keeping social distancing. The NowMedia video business card is affordable for anyone from startups to multinational companies and is already being used by hundreds of businesses. Stay open, stay in business. Call us today.
Hi, I'm Sandra Mendez Hassan, Executive Business Advisor, Key Business Strategist, and Management Specialist with Extraordinary HCBI. I work with business owners and executives to help them achieve their goals, implementing the right strategy, and developing leaders that turn their dreams into reality. Do you have a business idea and need to know how to launch it? Based on your vision, do you have the criteria or entrepreneurial mindset to achieve your goals? Do you have what it takes to motivate your team so they can be more proactive and productive? Would you like to learn how to get more clients and close more businesses? At Extraordinary HCBI, we take businesses to the next level by providing them with resources, counseling, and implementing strategies that work because we want your business to thrive. We also assist businesses and aspiring entrepreneurs on the initial steps of their business plan development, creating financial projections and guiding them on how to create a financial package that will work for their business. Because your success is our success, take a decisive step today and call me at 832-660-4291 and let Extraordinary HCBI turn your dreams into reality.
If you are a real estate agent and are looking for a reliable cleaning company to keep your houses for sale or rental properties impeccable, Sierra Cleaning Services is your solution. With more than 15 years of experience, Sierra Cleaning Services has been the company of reference for real estate agents in the areas of Houston, Katy, Cinco Ranch, Cypress, and the Woodlands. Sierra cleaning services include residential, commercial, and office cleaning, window and debris removal during all phases of construction projects, and cleaning homes and offices before and after the tenants move out. Contact Alfredo Sierra at 913-439-8157 today and let Sierra Cleaning Services be your partner in your cleaning project.
All right, welcome back. You're back with us. This is BNI Now. It's a special platform for all BNI members nationwide, even worldwide, frankly, if they speak English. I can have them here. We can put them on Skype, put them on Zoom, and still have a great interview with one of our members. The next member is also somebody from my chapter. I know her very well. This is Maria Azar. Maria Azar has her own company called Azar Consulting. Or Azar Consulting. I don't know how do they say it, Maria?
Well, the right way to say is Azar, but you adapt to wherever you go. So here they call me Azar. Azar it is.
As long as they call you, right?
As
That's
long
the
as they
important
call
thing.
me, correct.
So the great thing about Maria is that she has a very, very, very long record of working in a Fortune 500 company, okay, for HR. So, when she decided to open her own business, of course, that's what she decided to dedicate her life to. Can you tell me a little bit, Maria, about your experience in HR and how you got around to opening your own business eventually?
Well, I've been here in the United States for about 3 years, and I realized that there was a niche in the industry with regards to small and medium-sized businesses that they didn't have a dedicated HR department to cover their needs. First, because they believe that HR is only payroll, and second, most of the time, it's because they didn't have the money to invest. And once I noticed that niche, my immediate attention was to try to cover those. So I decided to open the business, and with very affordable prices, try to give not as much as administrative HR, but strategic HR for small businesses.
How can you differentiate the administrative HR versus the strategic? What makes that difference for you and for your clients?
To me, is to tailor, those formats that you can find in Google. Administrative is those that just fill out forms, that fill out W-2s and W-4s and W-9s, which is a requirement. You need to do it.
Right, you have to have it.
You
Frankly,
have to have it.
You can get sued for not having those types of things.
But to me, a strategic HR is not only fill out those forms, is also to create policies that are tailored to your needs and that will help you achieve what your goals are as a business owner.
Okay. And what makes you such an expert in HR? Tell me a little bit about how you learned about this industry and what makes you qualified for somebody to hire you.
Well, like you said, I worked for Chevron for 18 years. Mm-hmm. I started as an admin assistant, but I developed into HR after about 8 years in the company. So my last 10 years in the company was an HR. As an HR specialist. I started as a compensation and benefits, and Chevron being an international company, we manage not only Venezuela, but we also manage Trinidad and Tobago from the Venezuelan office.
Okay.
So I started as a compensation and benefit specialist, and then moved into the HRBP side, which is kind of like your people side.
Fantastic. So you have plenty of experience working in oil and gas. Obviously, this is the oil and gas capital of the world, so if you have any clients in oil and gas, maybe they run these smaller admin companies or supply companies, or there's some sort of related to oil and gas, but not Chevron, a smaller company, and you need some HR services, this is the person you call.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about what's been going on, and obviously it's a common thread, and it has been for the last 7 months since we've been sort of living through this whole situation. There's been a lot of changes in the way people work. Mm-hmm. Frankly, there's been a lot of changes in people working as well. Obviously there's been quite a bit of unemployment. Unemployment has been on the rise. Companies, small businesses that have not been able to weather the storm that has been, this pandemic. A lot of people looking for jobs. A lot of there's still some companies looking for jobs, companies that are expanding. I'll do a caveat there. I'm actually a client also of Maria. Maria helped me with the hiring process at our insurance agency. I own a small insurance agency here in town, and we're growing, thank God. We have that. That's a good problem to have right now. So in the past, I've always tried to grow on my own, posting in Indeed and looking on Monster and looking for hires in your typical places. But typically, I wasn't getting a good return for that. So I was hiring people, they weren't sticking around very long, or they wouldn't show up for the interviews. That's another common thing. There's a lot of these. There's just something that goes along with hiring people that's not very user friendly or pleasant sometimes. So I decided to make a change, and I said, you know what? I'm hiring Maria. She's going to take care of everything for me. And tell me a little bit about everything that you did for me, culminating in finally the hire of a great candidate that is going to be starting with us on Monday, actually.
Well, I did exactly the same thing you were doing.
No, you did not. It wasn't the same thing at all.
Well, I think what I can bring is that peace of mind that you don't have to do it. As an HR recruiter, you have that extra experience, and you have kind of like a sixth sense of how the candidate will react or how the candidate will work. Can you predict if he's going to show up for the interview? No. Can you predict if that person is going to be a good fit? No, because a lot of people are very great doing interviews, and a lot of people look very good on resumes. But with experience, you try to do the best you can. And what I have learned in the process, that, like you said, even though there's a lot of unemployment right now in the city, there's still a lot of people that got used to that unemployment check,
right,
and they don't want to come back to work for whatever
It's
reasons.
amazing.
Yeah.
You'd think we have a position available, it pays pretty well, you'd think that people would be knocking down the door, but it's not the case.
It's not the case, correct.
Yeah. Well, thank you for everything that you've done for me. Everything was extremely professional. She sent me a list prior to our interview days. She sat with me through our interview days. She helped me with a lot of the key questions that maybe as somebody that doesn't hire people on a daily basis, they don't think about asking. And so she ran the whole way through up until the point where we hired somebody, and I want to just thank you for that. It's been a great
Anytime.
experience. That being said, still other changes. So people working from home, right? Can you tell me a little bit about how that has changed the work environment? Does that change anything as far as the rules on what they're supposed to be doing or not supposed to be doing as an owner? How do you deal with somebody that's working remotely? How do you make sure that they're still doing what they're supposed to be doing? There's a lot of fear about, if you don't see somebody every day, what are they really doing? So can you tell me a little bit about, I think, ways to optimize, let's say, a remote work environment?
Yeah, definitely. You can't generalize because each business is different, but you have to start by really writing out what your objectives are. I'm sure what you wrote that your objective for the business was in January is way different what it is right now. And I think as long as you have the lines of communications open and you communicate constantly with your employees, what are those rules? What are the objectives for the company? How their job changes, because it's not going to be the same. And at the end of the day, it's about results, and it's about how are you going to manage that performance, because now you can't say, like you said, I don't know if they're working or not. Right. I don't know if they're doing what they're supposed to do. But people can be in the office and be sitting behind the computer and be doing exactly the same thing and not doing their job. So I think the question here is not if they're doing or not, is what are you doing as an employer to make sure they're getting all the equipment, they're getting all the tools, and they know exactly what they have to do to perform. So those
So
are
you just
things.
need to set clear goals and then
Correct.
follow up and make sure they're measurable so that you can enforce it if it's not happening, right?
Correct. And also being a little bit flexible, people have to adapt. We here have to be mindful that we have to operate into a management of change, because things that are happening right now have never happened before. So there is no written rule. So what probably works in my business doesn't work in your business.
Right.
So it's kind of like try and error. And I think this last 9 months has been this, trial and error. And from now on, let's say January 1st, if you don't have your policies written, if you don't have your remote policy, are you going to allow people to work? Is it going to be a hybrid between working at home, coming back in the office? You have to set clear expectation for people to know what they're going to be doing.
That's a great point. I didn't even think about that. So really your employee manual needs to be updated, first of all.
Correct.
Right? And that's one of the services that you provide, right?
I do.
Great. Another question here, something that did come up with my office, thankfully, but I can imagine I've heard other offices having to deal with this. So obviously at the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of people said, we'll work remotely. We don't really know what this is going to entail, how it's transmitted. There was a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty about, the COVID and how it was going to spread. And of course, a lot of us took the most prudent approach, which is close the office, everybody work remotely. When things get back to some sort of, or when we know more, we'll reopen again. Eventually, a lot of businesses have reopened, but that comes along with also maybe you have an employee that's worked remotely and now they don't want to come back. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about HR and from an HR perspective? Are there recourses to that? What would you recommend to a business owner maybe that's going through a situation like that?
Well, I think the first thing you need to make sure is, like we were talking about, have clear policies and procedures in place to make sure the employee knows what is expected of them, of him or her. But more than that is create kind of like a hybrid and give that employee the opportunity to really see if he or her she can perform the job remotely. But if not, is that not the case? If the employee is refused because, let's say, before you do that, you need to make sure you are complying with the law, because there is a Family First Coronavirus Act, and there are other states' laws that have come, and you have to make sure you comply with all those requirements. But if after you have done all that and the employee still refused to go back to work, after you set up clear expectation, Texas is an at-will state, so you can just tell them,
Work at will and fire at will, right?
Yes, this is not going to work out for us. But to me, that will be the last resources. I don't think anybody can, want to get fired right now. It's going to cost you money to train somebody else. So it's just try to be flexible and try to work with the employee, but make sure you have everything in writing. So
Well, it depends on the industry too, right?
Correct.
I mean, some industries lend itself to remote working, and others, obviously, if you're talking about a retail location, if you're talking
cannot
about,
work remote.
Maybe it's a service location like a restaurant where you need a waiter, those situations, obviously, you need to be present.
Correct.
Okay, that's very interesting because I'm sure that's happening quite a bit right now.
Mm-hmm.
Another question for you. What's the most common thing that you normally see? So you've worked with a lot of clients at this point, 3 years in business. What's the most common mistake that you see business owners make as it relates to running their business from an HR perspective?
The error is or the mistake is that they believe they can do HR.
Okay.
And
So it's delusion, basically.
It's delusion,
Yeah.
yes. I always say, you have your accountant because you don't know how to do your numbers, or you need a specialist to do it. You have your lawyer because you're not a specialist in the law. What makes HR any difference? So it's just think that you don't need an HR expert because you don't have any employee issues. And we were talking about yesterday in our meeting. I said, do you have any employees with development issues, or do you have employees that always are late to work, or you always? I mean, if you count the hours that you as a business owner spend in HR related issues that you don't think they're HR, you will have 2 or 3 hours a day free. So think about HR as more strategic and not administrative.
Tell me how somebody goes about the process of hiring you. So is it a sort of a one-size-fits-all? Is it an hourly thing? Do you have packages? It depends. I assume that depends on your client as well. So
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about how you onboard new clients.
Well, the first thing is that our first consultation is free, because like you said, is not one size fits all. We have to understand what are your needs, and then we have to create a package or whatever it is that you need. You know, we have to understand what are your needs first. And then we do outsource HR, and what you all need to do is just call. And our phone number is 346-317-9717. We are on social media as well. That's ASTAR HR Consulting. But yes, we just need to understand what your business is about, what your goals are as a business owner, and then to understand where you want to go.
So if you need to be on a contract basis, like we worked on a contract basis for a hiring process, or you need outsourced HR because you run, let's say you just have a lot of problems in HR and you need somebody on call. Both of those situations you can take care of.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, that's pretty much concludes our time for today. I want to thank you all for taking the time to be with us, and I would invite you to come back and see us next Friday at 2 p.m. Same place, same time. We're on NowMediaRadio.com. If you want to see us, you can also go to NowMediaRadio.com and download actually all the previous shows that have aired since, I want to say it's been about 4 or 5 months since we started doing these shows. So feel free to take a look at that. Download the shows. If you want to be on these shows or you have any questions for us, feel free to email us at bninow@nowmedia.tv. I hope that you have a great weekend. Hopefully by next week we'll have some more certainty in life. At least we'll know who the president is. But have a great weekend. Enjoy it, and we'll see you back again next week. Thank you so much.